Hello, thanks for joining me. My name is Elaine with My Crafty Hen House. Today I'm here to share with you this Christmas towel dress. It's a staple in my country kitchen for years, and we hang this over our stove or our dishwasher during the holidays, and it's just a beautiful little addition to the decorating. Now today I'm going to focus in on the neckline and introduce a different type of pattern. This eyelet lace has been difficult to come across throughout these holidays, so we're going to do a clean line neckline. You can still add this eyelet lace to the shoulders, which is adorable, and just make it a little bit cleaner at the neckline. Now these towels are designed where they slip over the stove handle and then slip through the front, and then you tie off so they secure them. What we're going to do today is I've created another pattern of the same topper of this towel dress. We're going to use two fabrics. We're going to use black for the background and this candy mint for the top. Now I've created a pattern. This piece of material is 14 by 11 across the bottom and 14 across the top. This pattern that I've created is just like a little t-shirt. So to create my pattern, I've taken regular copy paper and I've taped it together to create a piece of pattern paper that is 11 inches wide by 14 inches in height. And then I folded the paper. Once I've taped it all together, I folded it in half, directly in half. And now it will measure 11 by 7. Then what you want to do before you make any of these cutouts on this side is I needed to create a neckline. So I folded my paper in half and found the center point of the piece of paper right here. And then I needed to get something that would create the neckline opening. And I found that I had this canning ring lid that was perfect in size for half of this. So what I did is I put it on my measuring, my cutting mat here, and I've marked the center point of this ring. Now this ring is 3-inch square ring, so you know that you go 1.5 and mark a line, 1.5, mark a line, and then same up at the top is you go 1.5, mark a line, and come across 1.5 and mark a line. Then you have a ring with your 4 points. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take, this would still be one solid piece of 7 by 11 piece of folded over paper. And at the fold on the top, we're going to take our ring and mark up this, line up this mark on the bottom with this line on the paper. That would indicate that we're at the center of what we're going to create into our pattern for the dress top. Then you're going to take the other marks that you've put on this side and line them up with the top of the fold. This will create a divide line so that you can draw out your neckline. And you're going to hold this ring down with the paper, and you're going to draw a half circle on this side and a half circle on this side, and remove your ring, and you will have a half circle line out. Then you're going to go ahead and you're going to cut this out, and that will create your even neckline hole. Next, you're going to, once your neckline hole is cut out, you're going to measure in. I've gone 2.5 inches down, and I've gone 1.25 inch in. So I'll put that here. This is 2.5. This is 2.5 inches this way. That would be the opening for the sleeve. And then inward, you're going to go 1 1¼ inch. So this is 1 1/4 inch in. Okay, and so what you're then going to do is you're going to mark 1 1/4 inch at the bottom, and which would be here, and you're going to mark 1 1/4 inch here. And then you're going to cut a line. So that will give you the sleeve mark. And you're going to do that to the opposite side as well. You're going to come in 1 1/4, or down 2 1/2, in 1 1/4, and measure over 1 1/4 at the bottom, and then draw your straight line. Of course, this is a handmade pattern. It's not going to be precise, but you're going to get it as close in your straight lines as possible. Now, so that I would get a pattern that would match, I went ahead and I took both of my materials I was using, the candy material and the black, and I lined them up at the top seam nearly as close as possible. Then what you're going to do is you're just going to go ahead and you're going to fold over your material together and iron it so that it's nice and flat, checking that you have adequate material for your pattern. Now again, this should be at least 14 inches in full length and 11 inches wide. And then you're going to take your pattern after you've ironed it. You're going to take your pattern and you're going to set the fold of your pattern at the fold of the fabric on the top. And you see that I have plenty of space here, plenty of space here with both materials. There's no cuts in material on the back side, and same with this side. Then you're going to go ahead and you're going to take a fabric marker or your pencil, anything you use drawing your fabric. And you're going to go ahead and you're going to draw out your neckline. You're going to cut down the sleeve in your 1 1/4. Just follow your entire pattern all the way around, and then go ahead and cut out your pattern. Once your pattern is cut out and you have both pieces of material, when you open them up, you will have both materials that will should match nearly perfect. And you're going to take your top fabric and you're going to flip it upside down. I'm going to bring one other item of information to you, and that if you're cutting out material that has a directional pattern, make sure that when you are folding your pattern on the fold, like we did with our peppermint candies and the black fabric, which would be on back, that you're folding to cut your pattern that will go in the same direction when you cut it out, and that you don't mistakenly use your fabric folded opposite and then cut out, that would be the fold, cut out your pattern on the fold. Then when you cut out your pattern, you're going to open up your towel and see that your pattern is going the wrong direction. You want to make sure that before you cut your material that your directional pattern is facing directionally correct. Okay. So now that you have these two pieces of fabric that we cut out and we cut all the way around, we're going to take our fabric and we're going to move the fabric, flip it, and put good to good. And then we're going to create a clean neckline without adding the ruffle. So in order to do that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to put it on the machine and we're going to stitch out 1/4 inch all the way around this neckline. And then I'll finish this and I'll show you what we do at that point. All right, we've gone ahead and I went ahead and stitched all the way around the neckline. Now you're going to snip into the neckline. This is a curved neckline, so you're going to want to snip each about maybe 1/4 inch all the way around the neckline, being careful not to snip your stitch line. And what this will allow you to do is, as you're turning the neckline, you're not going to get this puckering build up because it is on the curve. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to snip all the way around. Now that your material is all snipped at the neckline to give that some flexibility, we're just going to take our top fabric and you're going to tuck the top fabric in the hole. So tuck this in the hole and flip the whole fabric over. And now you see that now you have your good side out. Now, if you're using fabric that is reversible, you're going to have to keep that in mind as well. Mine is a solid on both sides. So, all right, so there's your clean neckline. And it makes a nice clean neckline all the way around. We've snipped it. Now you're going to go ahead and you're going to press this down. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and you can add your ruffle to the outside of the sleeves if that is what you want to do. This is the time to go ahead and add your ruffling. You can put it right across the sleeve. And what you would do at that time is you would make sure that the ruffle is going to be encapsulated in the stitching. So in order to get our seams, our finished seams, and now that the neckline is turned in, you're going to go ahead and you're going to take this bottom fabric in your hand, and you're going to take the bottom of this fabric right here, and you're going to put them together and turn them inside out like so. So again, you're going to take the two fabrics and you're going to turn this one in and you're going to flip this one over at the back and you're going to match them up like so. This still is the bottom and this is the bottom. And this is where your first pin will be. So we'll go ahead and we're going to pin this. Now you're going to work your way up, which will invert this whole pattern inside of itself. So we're just going to keep our hands on this pin and you're going to work your way up the fabric, pinning as you go. I'm going to have to pull some through. I'll put another pin here. And now I'm at the sleeve where we came in, the 1 1/4 inch. So I'm going to pin across here and I'm still pulling this fabric through, pulling it through. Holding that pin I just put in, we're going to go across the sleeve. Pulling it through. And now you can start seeing the neckline peek through here. Pulling it through. So that we can line these points up. It might seem a little cumbersome at first, but just keeping your hands on the pin and working your way up the material. I'm going to pull out again. And go across the next section of the sleeve. You can see the outline. This is coming from the bottom, and we've inverted the fabric into itself. So this is coming up the bottom. And one more little section. Pulling the fabric up. And there we go. And there we go. So you can tell from this pattern, if we open the pattern up, this is where we're stitching along. And we're stitching it to the back fabric. So we're going to come up from the bottom across the arm. That's why the arm looks so big. And then across the other side. So we're going to now put this on the machine and go ahead and stitch 1/4 inch. Now that we have this entire side sewn together, we're going to go ahead and we're going to take our scissors and we're going to snip in the corners so that we have the ability to turn a little bit freer. At the sleeves, at the corners, we're going to snip a corner of the edge off. And again, in the corner, we're going to snip so we have the freeing up for turning. And then we're going to turn the entire dress top. And go ahead and use your turning tool so you get some nice corners. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to press it and start working on the opposite side. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to start on the opposite side. Taking this fabric, turning it, and turning it to the back of this other fabric and begin pinning. Reaching in and pulling your fabric and holding the pin so it can help guide you up to the next section. Here's part of the sleeve. Okay, and there we go. We have this entire second side all pinned together, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to put it on the machine with a 1/4 inch seam. Okay, we are completely sewn on this side as well. We're going to go ahead and we're going to snip at the corners and diagonal snip across the tips of the sleeve, and again at that corner for turning. Okay, then we're going to turn our material inside out. Once again, go ahead and use your turning tool so that you have nice seams. Pushing out that sleeve. And we're going to go ahead now and press this. So now you have your completed towel dress topper, and it has all the clean lines with the seams are all hidden and hemmed and shut. No need to add any additional ruffles or anything to them since you have a clean line here. You can go ahead and add buttons. You can add little rhinestones, anything you'd like to do to dress this up. Your last step would be to take the bottom of your fabric, the raw edges, and go ahead and you're going to turn them in 1/2 of an inch. And this is going to be the pocket that you're creating to insert your towels. And I will do another video finishing these up and showing you, if you're unfamiliar with how to complete the towel dress. This is the pocket on this towel dress, and this was a regular standard kitchen towel. And what you're going to do is you need one towel that will coordinate with your fabric, and you're going to take the towel and divide it in half completely, and you're going to cut the towel in half, and then half of the towel will be inserted on the front and the other half will be inserted on the back side. That is what was done to this towel dress. This is one towel divided in half, and it was pocketed on either side of the dress and then sewn in with ties. So you'll get a towel that's color coordinated with your topper that you choose. This would be beautiful with a little red towel or a solid white towel, or even a towel like this one with a print on it that you can get. And I will complete another video and show you how to do that in the future. I just basically was doing this video to show you how to get a clean line and your neckline to eliminate using the ruffles and keep it more streamlined for those that prefer not to have the country feel and more of a streamlined feel. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was informative. I always learn something along the way, and I hope to see you again. Have a wonderful day, and God bless.